WvA, and the fourth rider in the group, already with 102 kilometres to go, is Mathieu van der Poel, and that is a serious gap. They're already up to that counter move that contains Luke Durbridge, shall I say, Anthony Turgis, and look at the difference in speed.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Van der Poel there just losing a couple of bike lengths, and no doubt he'll be able to just jump straight across to this. But Van Aert, he is not taking any prisoners today. Is he moving straight up? Stefan Kung's been able to get on the back of it, and just behind him, I think, I've forgotten the name of the rider that it was now, but Stefan Kung, you can just see getting on the back there. I'm just trying to find that rider that was just in between them all, but Van Aert, he's not playing, is he?
No, and I think this could have caught a lot of riders off guard, because I don't suppose they were expecting Wout van Aert to already ignite things this far out in the race. Yes, they would be expecting a big battle for position going into this sector, but there's going to be some serious chasing going on behind. I would not be at all surprised to see Filippo Ganna scrambling to get back on terms, because he's ridden such a great race so far. Mats Pedersen as well.
Yeah,
where's my pick?
Where has he gone? But I don't think anyone ever expected this early on. I think this is super early on.
Wow, look at the shot in the background there. It's all over the place.
And Van Aert again, once again, you can see him struggling. Laporte just being sat on the wheels there. That's the benefit. You can see the benefit you get from sitting in the wheels. A little bit pressure coming to the front. Degenkolb just hanging on. He'll want to hang on for this as long as he can.
If you're Mathieu van der Poel, do you work in this group off the end of this sector?
Yeah, I would. I mean, it's a lot easier for those guys. I mean, you can take it easy as well, but just roll through, not too much. But I think as soon as you start to play, this gap is big enough already. Wow, I did not expect this early on. We heard riders wanted to go long, but this is long from long.
Well, I didn't see any riders from Ineos Grenadiers in that second group. I haven't seen any in the third group, so Filippo Ganna caught out of position there by the looks of things. I think Mats Pedersen was in the group that you can see in the distance on our screen right now. Hard to tell, all the dust kicking up on this yet another dry edition of Paris-Roubaix, but it's all kicking off. And this was obviously part of a premeditated plan, Adam, and a good one, because the scrap for position into the Arenberg can be a very, very dangerous one. We saw Van Aert, as you pointed out from the studio just a few moments ago, that he had a problem there last year, and obviously doesn't want to have a problem this time around. The smaller the group is, the less dangerous it's going to be in the forest of Arenberg. Yeah,
100%. And I think if you can get that, there's Mats Pedersen just coming through on the front of that peloton now. So even that second peloton there, massively reduced, but with these riders gone up the road, Van Aert's in there with a teammate, Stefan Kung, who we're expecting to be round all roundabouts, is there, Degenkolb, who great experience in this race with the winner of it, but we didn't really expect him to be there. I think Wout van Aert has just caught a lot of people off guard here. We asked Phil, we said, do you think the Arenberg is too early? He said it's a great opportunity for the riders wanting to anticipate the moves. No one could have anticipated this move from WvA.
And it's not a very easy road to roll through and off on to do a chase, is it, the Forest of Arenberg? It's time now for me to welcome Rob Hatch back into the commentary box. I'm sure that he's been watching very intently.
They're at it again. The Mappé tribute band are back together. Laporte, Van Aert, and those trying to drum along with them. Degenkolb dreaming again. Mathieu van der Poel, well, of course, it's a monument. Of course he's there. He's got the best top 10 finish percentage of any rider in the history of riding monuments. Even more than Eddy Merckx. I know the sample size isn't quite as big yet, but 13 of them, he is always up there. There's Stefan Kung as well. He's got a mate, or he had a mate with him. Mads Mikkelsen, what a race he's been riding. 19 years of age, one of 3 teenagers there. And this is serious stuff already, building up to the big battle of Arenberg. Normally, Dan, Adam, we'd be talking about a big peloton fighting for position going on to it. Adam, in that brilliant piece you did, you're talking about the road going from 7 metres to 3 metres. I was listening to you and hastily scribbling down notes. Guess what? I've just torn them up, because the race is already split up, the race is already broken up, and the alarm bells are ringing behind in certain teams. Here you've got the Ineos Grenadiers, Collar Swift, trying to bring Filippo Ganna back into the game.
I mean, it's not just bringing Filippo Ganna, like the other teams as well. They need to start moving, because Connor Swift, fantastic rider, very, very strong, but that's in the third group as well, so Ganna's even further back than that. But you think you've got Connor Swift riding on the front. Ultimately, he has to ride quicker than Christophe Laporte, Wout van Aert, John Degenkolb, Mathieu van der Poel. All respect to Connor, he ain't going to be riding quicker than him. He's not. It's like bringing that back. He needs help. He needs more riders. And Ineos are doing the right thing. They have to ride to bring Ganna back in. But they need help from other teams as well, quickly, because this gap is just going to expand quickly.
A reminder that it took 80 kilometres for a breakaway to be formed today. Jonas Koch, Derek G, Sjoerd Box and Yuri Holman have been up there. They had a maximum gap of pushing on for 2 minutes. It's disappearing into nothing here, with Wout van Aert attacking, Van der Poel following. It's all on.
It took 80k for the break to go, then it took 200 metres for Wout van Aert to ride off the front. Unbelievable.
It's a beautiful but cruel sport sometimes, if you're not quite at the level of the absolute ballers. But there are riders giving it up their best. This is an unpredictable race, we know that, as Filippo Ganna is into that second group again, much thanks to Connor Swift and company. Also riding there at the front, you can see Bahrain victorious is Jonathan Milan. Of course, Milan, a Team Pursuit teammate of Filippo Ganna, remember. He also has Matej Mohoric alongside him. So this next group is back there. We're getting another move again off the front. It looks as though Mats Pedersen thought about that. Now, these guys behind will be thinking about that positioning for what's coming up, because, yes, it is approaching. Very soon they will see the big metal mining equipment on the left-hand side. The post-industrial decay staring back in foreboding fashion. There will be no turning back when they get to Arenberg. The first five-star tractor, the first big moment in the race on paper, but we might have had the split that makes the race in terms of the story.
Yeah, you mentioned this earlier, Rob, the overused word of anticipation, when you've got the big three, or in today's case, the big two of Van der Poel and Van Aert. What we weren't expecting was for Van Aert and Van der Poel to be the riders doing the anticipating and getting themselves up the road.
What are they anticipating?
Yes.
So it's Van Aert here. It is Van Aert here at the front, just behind him Mikkels. Then you've got John Degenkolb in the black, Christophe Laporte. Remember, there's been 25 editions since a Frenchman won. Frédéric Guédon, the last in 1997. Of course, there's French blood flowing through the veins of Mathieu van der Poel, but on paper, his nationality very much Dutch. He's there, and also in that group is Stefan Küng. Here we go then. Koch, G, Box, Holman, coming up to a very important point. A race that now takes them up straight ahead into the split in the trees. This, of course, is the Trouet d'Arenberg, the Arenberg Trench, the forest, as they call it over the border, the Bos van Wallers. This is hell personified, whether you're in a big group behind fighting for position or having to ride the big chunky stones yourself. Box is the man from the Netherlands in the back with the black and white. Alongside him in the blue is Holman, the German. The multicoloured blue, white and pink, that's G from Canada. And at the front there, in the green, black and red, you're looking at Jonas Koch. Here is Stefan Küng approaching behind. Most riders, generally, are still fresh here. But this has been another very, very fast Roubaix. They've ripped the legs off each other before they even hit a cobblestone. But this is the sight that some will have been dreaming of. Others have had nightmares for the last year. It's time for that annual, unpredictable test of legs, head and heart. This is right up there with Mont Ventoux, the Kapellmur. It's one of the legendary sectors of world cycling. It's time for the trench. It's Arenberg, 2.3 kilometres, the first five-star sector. And the top four go on to the cobbles. But, gents, they're going to be closely followed by Wout van Aert and company. And remember, last year, Van Aert himself had a nightmare here.
He did indeed, and Van Aert at the minute, perfect position. Force Van der Poel going into those cobbles first, make him do the work all the way down this stretch. As you said, it's very hard to do any work on this cobble section, to go past someone, so forcing Van Aert to do that work, forcing Van der Poel to do that work, Van Aert, oh, that is not good, a tubeless tyre, get out of the way quickly, because there are some riders coming quickly behind you. Last year, this was an absolute blow.
Poor Derek G. Debut up in the break, riding like a dream, and then the nightmare hits. This is why it's so unpredictable. Dan, you need ability, but you need the winning lottery ticket in this race.
Yeah, it looks like his front tyre just exploded, and you can see the sealant inside it and the tubeless technology that they're using these days. And I mean, that's the difference between the old...
Oh, what a crash! A massive crash behind. Now who's down? We've got riders on the right hand side. It looks as though Askren is the man getting up. You've got a rider from Jumbo-Visma on the left-hand side. Also there, I think, is Kamil Gradek. He was racing for Baarle. There is Fred Wright, the left-hand side. You've got Cedric Berlens, who's down. Dear, oh dear, what a disaster.
Jonathan Milan there, and is that number... No, it's not number one. I was looking to see who that Jumbo-Visma rider was, but this is the danger going into the Arenberg, as we've stressed about it. It is like a bunch sprint going in there. If you get caught behind, getting that speed going again is near on impossible. Askren just... A lot of the riders rides on the top of the handlebars where there's no brakes. So if there's a crash in front of you, as we saw Askren there, I think that's Fred Wright on the right-hand side there as well for Bahrain victorious. You can't do a lot about it, and this is probably why Wout van Aert put the hammer down so early, to avoid those problems, to avoid those issues.
Let's have a look back. It is Fred Wright on the right-hand side, I'm afraid. Today don't look like it'll be the day. And there is Dylan van Baarle. Defending champion down. Defending champion looking like he could well be out. Let's see.